So the Western Faction has been released recently, and if you missed my video reacting to it, you should check that out. It's pretty cool. But I have a very simple question. Now that we have the Western Faction, which faction is the strongest? Is it the new Wild Wild West faction or some other one? I say we find out in this video. The Wild West faction, the long-awaited, long-rumored newest faction of Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. And today, we're going to find out, is this faction stronger than the other factions? But before we begin, I have found a disturbing piece of information. It's horrifying, and I want to bring it to your attention. Did you know that less than 14% of you that watch my content are subscribed? What's wrong with you? Why can't you hit the beautiful red subscribe button? Join the 14%. Let's get that to 20%. Make Crow happy. Make Crow proud. In the new Wild West faction, we have a bunch of units. We're going to go with the basic units, the Dynamite Thrower, the Miner, the Cactus unit, the Gunslinger with his quadruple guns, the Lasso on the horse, the Wobbly horse, and then the Deadeye and the Quick Draw. We're only going to test these units, test this faction with the base units. We could incorporate the secret units, but not every faction has secret unit equivalents. So we're just going to go with the basic ones. Our first test looks to be a little bit unfair. We have about 11,000 and change points here of our Western faction versus the Tribal faction. But the problem is, because of how expensive these Western units are, the Tribal faction almost outnumbers them 3-1. A little bit awkward, a little bit embarrassing, a little bit unfair maybe, but potentially some of these units here in the Western faction might have some strong AoEs. For example, these Gunslingers we know can drop a humongous bunch of AoE and might do a bunch of damage to the front line of the Tribal faction. Not to mention the Dynamite Throwers, who are going to bomb the front line very hard. Can the sheer numbers of the Tribal faction overrun the much better individual units, or will their AoEs do the number? Again, same points. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Cactus Boys moving in. Wobbly horses are going in after the front line. Here comes the Dynamite. Spears are thrown. Dynamites are entering the front line, waiting for the explosion. There's the raining bullets from the Gunslingers. Explosions are finally occurring, and the entire front line of both sides has been decimated. Now, the Chieftains over here are moving in, as well as the Shaman types who have an amazing AoE. The Witch Doctor types. Mr. Manny the Mammoth is in the back line, going in on the miners here in the front. Most of the miners have been destroyed. If not all the miners are dead. Now we are left with a Cactus Boy on the left, the 2 snipers. Oh, and Quick Draws here. Quick Draws in the front, firing in. Ooh, doing a lot of AoE damage. Now, if these Spear Throwers... No, most of the Spear Throwers were killed. Guys, the gun factions. Oh, the spear just took that Gunslinger in the chest. Oh my goodness. The 6-shooter getting stomped on by the Mammoth. Mammy looks to be down. Can the AoE hit a spear thrower before he dies? There it is. AoE's firing. AoE. Mr. Gunslinger has destroyed all of the left of the range units. We have 3 units left on the Western faction. These snipers have done a glorious job, especially on poor Manny the Mammoth. You poor guy. Sorry, buddy. Next up, we have the Farmer faction, 13,000 points apiece. We have our Western units in a very similar configuration to the last time. Cactus Boys on the outside, Lassos in the back, snipers, Quick Draw way back here. But for the farmers, we have a whole boatload of hobbits, of farmers, and of the bullet sponge dudes. Those should be interesting. A bunch of Galeries here in the back. These are the meat and potatoes of the army. A few Bob Rosses, of which look to be a little excited to be here. And in the back, we have Sammy the Scarecrow and the faction's true leader, Larry, who is not impressed with what he's looking at. Can Larry and his Farmer faction defeat the Western faction, or will the Western faction, the Wild West units, reign supreme? In 3, 2, 1, go. The hobbits are going to leap at the miners. The dynamite is in. Apples are being thrown. Cactus Boys are firing cactus projectiles, and the AoE bullets raining from the sky are sending the Bob Rosses flying through the air. Apples continuing to be thrown at the miners. There's a lot going on here in the middle. Cactus Boys are still alive. Miners are alive. Lassos are back in amongst the harvesters, the Galeries of the world. There's a lot of death here in the middle. Now comes in Sammy the Scarecrow's crows are joining the fight, and Larry's probably throwing potions, yet potions are going in, smacking amongst all the units, causing AoE confusion. to all the miners. The front line of the blue army has melted, and there's nothing but red faction left. Saving the Scarecrow was shot by a sniper, and the farmer faction was even weaker, even worse than the tribal faction. There's a bunch of these guys left alive. The farmers just got completely mowed down by the AoE provided by the Wild West faction. Now we move on to the Western faction. Again, the exact same configuration for the Wild West. 13,000 points on the nose. Looks intimidating. Can't wait to see if they win this time. And then over here we have the Knights army. Squires and Knights in the front. Some healers for the Knights. Archers on the flanks. 2 catapults. And then obviously King Philip himself with his lovely bard, Benny the Bard. Will King Philip reign supreme versus the Wild West faction? Are the Knights better suited to fight the AoE, or are they going to be cannon fodder much like the rest? In 3, 2, 1, go. Dynamite moving in. Catapults are firing. And is there going to be some friendly fire? Yep, friendly fire. Lots of catapult damage. Lots of bullets flying through the sky. There are still Knights alive, and they're being skewered by the Cactus Boys. Look at the spikes coming out of his chest. That's crazy. The Cactus Boys are still alive. Many of the squires, actually all the squires, are dead. Many of the Knights have been defeated. The front line is done. Lassos are dragging around the bodies. Cactus Boy versus King Philip. King Philip being healed. Cactus Boy got shot in the back. Sorry, buddy. King Philip being healed by his healers. The healers are going down. The back catapults are done. Where's Benny? Has anybody seen Benny the Bard, or is he, he's dead. The Knight faction. Again, similar point value. We're no match for the Wild West faction. Now we move on to the Ancient faction, who are perfectly matched against these guys. They cost a whopping 20 points more against the 13,000 points worth of the Wild West faction. We have a good chunk of shield bearers, Sarisas, and hoplites in the formation they would normally fight in those times. You got snake archers on the outside, 2 ballistas, a couple of the Minotaurs, and then the god Zeus ready to unleash lightning, hopefully from the safety of the back line. In 3, 2, 1, go. Knights move in, horse move in, snakes in the back line. Will the snakes cause a distraction? No, bullets are being shot and they're being bowled over. The Minotaur comes in. Friendly fire has occurred. Both Minotaurs are alive, and the majority of the blue melee have been wiped out. The pickaxe wielding miners are still alive, taking friendly fire from the dynamites. You've got a wobbly horse here in the back line. It seems like the ballistas, 1 ballista's down, 1 ballista's alive. Zeus is trying to fight Mr. Wobbly Horse and succeeded, but has snipers on him. Zeus is down. The Wild West faction completely dominated, completely ruined the Ancient faction with equal points. Now we are in Bjorn's world. Again, same setup, same points, 13,000 points. This time, I'm actually more optimistic on the Vikings. These berserkers are going to wreak havoc in the backline, potentially preventing these gunslingers from volleying the majority of the blue melee units. The Valkyries will be interesting, and then Mr. Bjorn himself ready to unleash damage in 3, 2, 1, go. In go the berserkers in the backline. Can they get to the gunslingers? Yes, berserkers are in the gunslingers, and so the berserkers are dead. What happened to them? What killed them? There's a fair amount of blue units still alive because the gunslingers are so focused on the berserkers in the back. Cactus Boys versus melee units. Cactus Boys exploding but dying. Another volley of gunslingers. Bjorn is alive, and he seems to be one of the few. A couple of ice archers are left alive, firing into the distance. You've got the snipers in the back. Oh, can they deal with the gunslinger? Can the 4 of these guys deal with the gunslinger? Gunslinger's dead. And now we have... Oh, gunslinger's still alive, dodging the ice archer arrows as the snipers take out... That was really close. That was really, really close. Only 3 units left alive. One of the best performances from any non-Wild West faction so far. Now we are here in the Monkey King's realm, and I feel pretty good about their chances. There's a bunch of range units. Hawatches here way in the back where they belong. You've got dragon units. You've got the Monkey King himself ready to unleash. Firework archers and plenty of melee units to go. Again, the same formation, the same positioning for this faction, and this whole is going to play a very interesting part in the entire fight. Dynasty Faction versus the Wild West Faction in 3, 2, 1, go. Miners are moving in. Dragons are breathing fire. Lots of AoE. Raining bullets from the sky. The front line is just a disaster. There's so much going on here. Dragons breathing fire. Firework archers firing in. You've got the Monkey King fighting what looks like to be... What was that unit? He's done now. Hawatches are still alive and still ready to fire. plenty of blue units left. Huachas firing in the distance, didn't hit anything. More Huachas firing, more friendly fire than anything else. The gunslingers are decimating the front line. Monkey King is still alive. Handwork of firework archers. Can the Huachas hit this gunslinger? Right there. Boom, gunslinger is dead. Can this Huacha hit this gunslinger right here? So close. Just a wild right. Gunslinger firing on the monkey. Monkey King fell down the hole. Home field advantage was not a thing. Huachas firing. There's one sniper. The sniper killed the firework archer. Can the sniper kill the Huacha? Or will the Huacha defeat the sniper? Oh, that was close. Right at her feet. Look at that. Sniper. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Finally, one faction was capable of defeating the Wild West faction, and it took the two Huachas to really even the playing field. Moving on to the Renaissance faction, Da Vinci and his cronies. Again, the same formation for the Wild West. And over here, you've got muskets, you've got halberds, you've got jousters, who'll be very fascinating to watch, as well as Da Vinci himself unleashing mayhem. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, activate. Fencers moving in, muskets are firing, AoE is dropping, balloons are hitting the cactus boys. All the jousters have been destroyed. They're still alive with the horse of dawn. In goes Da Vinci, moving in, hopefully taking some fire. Wow, it's over. Look how many Renaissance units are left. That's wow. Now it's time for Kira the Pirate Queen to face the Wild West faction. Blunderbuss is in the front, pistols behind them, harpooners. Captain Kyle, who's looking a little long in the neck than usual. Kira, the Pirate Queen, and 4 cannons. Equal point, 13,000 points in 3, 2, 1, go. Blunderbuss is moving in, unloading on the harpooners. Bombs are being thrown. Cannons are firing. Lassos in the back line. Harpooners being swarmed. Cannons still alive. Wobbly horse is still going. Kira the Pirate Queen is still ready to go. Dropping the bombs. Exploding. Cactus boys are swarming the cannons on this side as Wobbly horse falls in and drags the cannon into the water with it. Kira the Pirate Queen, Captain Kyle still alive. Captain Kyle is down. Kira the Pirate Queen is alive, but she's got a lot of things to fight, and no, Kira the Pirate Queen can't survive 6 bullets to the chest. Here we move to Mr. Death himself's realm. Same configuration, 13,000 points. Skeleton warriors, skeleton archers, candle heads, vampires, 2 general phantoms, Mr. Death himself, and 2 pumpkin catapults. Can they stave off his army through this chokehold using the catapults? In 3, 2, 1, go. In move the miners. Miners are on fire. The horses just walked through the front line of skeletons, completely decimating them. And now they're in the back line, exploding. Every single skeleton unit has been destroyed by the sheer amount of damage. Mr. Death himself moving in, can't skewer the cactus boys, unable to skewer them. They're too much HP. Mr. Death himself is down. The catapults are next. Guys, the Wild West faction destroyed Mr. Death himself and friends. In the end, only 2 factions were able to beat the Wild West in straight up combat. The Dynasty Faction thanks to their Huachas, and the Renaissance Faction just straight up thanks to their sheer firepower. Other than those 2, every single other faction fell quite quickly to the Wild West faction. Now that we have all these units, guys, which faction is your favorite? Comment down below and let me know. That's the secret question of the video.